Hello, my name is Isaac Diaz Cruz. I am in the RWS 1302 Mondays from 7:30 to 8:50 a.m. class. This semester we were given a specific research topic that we had to research and discuss and put our point of view into. My specific research topic that I had to research this entire semester was on the effects that social media has on teenager social communications. The reason why I picked this specific genre is because we are constantly on our phones daily and we are being consumed by technological advances every single day. It is becoming harder for us to communicate face to face. It is making it more difficult for us to have social basic instincts and skills to communicate with one another. There was a whole process that led into the final project or the documentary that I have created, but let's start from the beginning. The first thing that I had to do was brainstorm and figure out what was going to be my research topic, which it was really not that difficult due to the fact that I'm on my phone daily and I do struggle to communicate with other people face to face on a daily basis. It makes it really hard for me to make friends, especially in college. So why not do something that was affecting myself and maybe other people as well. After that, I created a 10-page paper researching and citing and doing my own research on the specific topic about social media and the negative and positives that they add to our lives. Then after that, we had to write a rough draft on how we were going to make the documentary. I ended up writing 4 pages of how I was going to lead the 10-page paper into a documentary. I would have written more, but it would have been a lot of pages. In the end, it really turned out really great. After that, I created an outline of what I was going to talk about in the documentary and find out what sources I was going to use. It's very difficult to add 10 pages of information into a 5-7 minute documentary. So I had to pick out the most important parts, or as well the research that I made, which was on SurveyMonkey. What I did was I created a survey online asking people 3 specific questions about how social media affects them or how often they're on their phone, so that I can use that data into my documentary. Then it was time for me to start recording, and this recording process, I'm going to say, took about over a month to record because due to the coronavirus, it was very difficult to go out and film, so I had to figure out how I was going to film by myself and without other people to support my thesis. The thesis that I had for my research was not really specifically on one question. It was more put into 4 questions, which was: how does social media affect social communication? How does it improve people's lives? How does it decrease the amount of social communication in between people? And as well other questions. Now, leading into the difficulties that I had of creating this project, which was I'm going to say it was about 5 to 6 problems. The first problem was figuring out how I was going to record everything by myself, because usually a documentary involves other people and it involves going out and creating contact with other people and trying to get their opinions or facts on the matter that I have discussed. The second part was how I was going to convince my audience of the problems of what social media can bring into our lives. As well, how I was going to fit 10 pages of information into a 5-7 minute clip. The third issue that I had was trying to find somebody to interview due to not me having many friends or not having many colleagues that I could have interviewed. So I ended up interviewing my friend Mohammed. He was very kind enough to allow me to interview him and ask him questions based on my thesis. The fourth problem, which was probably the most difficult issue of recording this documentary, was putting things into words and trying to express the information without stuttering over and over again. Just to show you guys, I'm going to show you a little clip of how many times I stuttered while recording the documentary. Interviewed, and since interviewing, okay, so it has been a month and a half since that last interview, and month and a half. So it has been a month and okay. Okay. So it has been good implementation. Yes, in the end, social media is a very good implementation. I know, as you guys can see, that was very difficult. It takes many runs to create a documentary. It's not just one smooth session. It takes hours and hours. The fifth thing that was really difficult in finishing my project was the editing portion of it. In the end, it ended up taking me about 6 to 7 hours in total editing that small 5-minute documentary, because I had to keep going back due to the fact that I did not have enough footage. I had to keep going back and figuring out what I can do to make the documentary flow through easier rather than just going from one point to another without any background information. Stop. Wait a minute. See, this is what I mean when I say that I don't have enough footage. That it appears so, but by the time that I finish editing, it runs out of space, and I have to go back and add more additional information. The last thing that made it really difficult was how I was going to repeat myself in the video without making it sound so repetitive. For example, I said the thesis in the beginning and I did not want to keep pointing it out throughout the video because then it would have been really annoying and people would have gotten bored really quickly. So in the end, those were the only things that made it really difficult to finish my documentary in a smooth process. But in the end, the video turned out really well and I got really good feedback from other people on the peer review. People told me that I hit every point, that the video flowed through smoothly, and it was one of the best videos they've seen so far. In the end, I ended up enjoying this documentary, creating the 10-page paper, creating this presentation for you guys. I really wanted to get the information out there and provide evidence of what social media brings into our lives, the negatives and positives, and see which one weigh out the other. But in the end, yes, social media is a positive implementation in our lives, but it can also affect our social communication in a deeply dramatic way that none of us could have seen coming. Also, I wanted to create a sense of doubt and question in your guys' minds so that you guys can realize that maybe I'm spending too much time on the phone instead of spending time with other people in face-to-face and a lot of other things. Anyways guys, that was my presentation explaining the negatives that social media bring into our lives, also explaining how I went through with my documentary, explaining how, and just saying the difficulties that occurred while creating this entire project. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching my documentary, and I hope you learned a thing or two from me. Anyways guys, this is Isaac Diaz-Cruz from RWS 1302, and I hope you guys have a great day. As well guys, if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer, please feel free to comment down below, and I will try to respond as fast as possible and as thorough as I possibly can. Anyways, thank you very much. See you guys.